Yo, what is up guys, it's me Eve again here, playing Tokyo Ghoul Break the Chains. In today's video we're going to take a look at the new Uta, the Rescue as he's called. We're going to take a look at his kit, at his abilities, what he does, all of that. I'm going to tell you what I think about him, where he stands, what maybe teams he could be played in, and all of that stuff. So let's get right into it. He's a skill, he's no org, that's very important. He's a no org, but he's a diverse unit who can be also played in the Anteiku. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So in terms of his overall basic stats, how does he look? He looks okay-ish. Like, obviously, he is not a DPS unit, so because of that, his attack is very, very low. You will not see him do insane amount of damage, that's for sure. But his defense, HP, and CP is okay-ish. Like, they're not too crazy. He's not like on in top 5 on the ACP here or anything like that. But he's okay-ish. Like, if you compare it to other buffers as well, for example, Jason has much less stats in terms of defense, HP, and CP here. Like, the same goes for like Chief. CP is also not as nice, but again, Chief has better defense and HP. So in terms of buffers, like buffers, debuffers, all of those kind of units that are mainly supports, it's pretty okay. He's not like on the worst side. Again, for him, attack doesn't really matter. In terms of his skills, let's take a look at his active skill. Grant all allied characters 8 for 2 turns when dealing corporate damage equal to 440% of the attack to the enemy target. 8 increases damage dealt by 15% and reduces damage taken by 8. Cooperate increases damage dealt by 5% per buff on yourself up to 30%. And to be honest, I didn't feel him doing damage at all. That's the thing. I tried him in the strategy arena. I even tried to I gave him like the triple S cards, basically, that makes him triple S in the arena, because again, I have only on 1 star. I tried giving him those triple S and using him, and it still felt like he's not doing anything. Like, it actually was pretty much nothing that he was doing. Like, in terms of damage specifically, he was doing nothing. Even after like a few turns, when I was just using purely him and like using some other supports that will buff him so he can apply these increases in damage, and he was doing nothing. But again, that's expected from the supports. In terms of his overall, like what he brings into the team, I also didn't feel much of an impact. But let's read what his passive skills do. When a battle starts, grant all allied no org and Anteiku characters arcane for each no org or Anteiku character on the field team, including the backup. Increase all allied characters basic stats by 4 up to 20%. So this is like the most interesting thing here is that he is including backup characters. So I think previously we never seen that happening. Usually, for example, like if you go to, let's say, Red Arima, who has the same thing, but like for each ally CCG character you get this one, but they never actually like wrote there like including the backup units. So usually it's like units that are on the field. So this is something just interesting stuff to see that they added into the text there. Arcane for each buff on yourself, increase attack by 4% up to 12. When attacking a target with debuffs, increase your damage dealt by 5% for every 2 debuffs up to 10 times. Again, he's doing 0 damage. So like, if you want to call it baby damage, you sure can. After using an active skill, inflict a number of brittle to the enemy target equal to the user's active skill level. When your turn starts, if only Anteiku or characters use skills last turn, inflict all enemies in circle for 1 turn. Brittle reduces crit resist by 10% and crit defense by 6% for 2 turns up to 3 times. I think this is one of the problems that he has, is the brittle. If this wasn't a crit resist and crit defense, if this was just purely defense, and for example, like, I don't know, an HP debuff or whatever, like anything that is much better than crit resist and crit defense, like these 2 stats are the most shittiest they could possibly put here. I think just pure defense debuff or like just pure HP debuff there would be much more nice. Like attack debuff even would be much nicer than this. Like I don't know, I think I really don't like this one. The brittle is that feels so shit for me. I don't know. In circle, sorry, when taking damage, increase your damage taken by 6% for 1 turn up to 2 stacks. So nothing too crazy overall. Like he doesn't do much. Like he genuinely doesn't do much. In terms of he buffs himself, they added like a lot of buffs for himself, but then he doesn't still do any damage. Like that's the craziest part. Applying weak increases all allied characters' basic stats by 8% for 1 turn. Grant yourself immunity to all debuffs and weak effects. When an allied character takes damage and their HP falls below 50% increase, their skill level and increase their basic stats by 8% for 3 turns. Each character can trigger this effect once. So he feels like when you see the 3rd star that he has here, he feels like a character that should be played in the team that can definitely survive more than 1 round, but also he doesn't feel like an Anteku character because they don't need this. Because they already have Hina, who can extremely good unit for the Anteku, who has debuff immunity, who has getting rid of the debuffs. She can increase the skill levels on 3rd turn as well. She can increase the basic stats, she can increase HP, all of that stuff. And then you look at this and you're feeling like, you know, this, like, you don't need this at all for Anteku. Like, I'm not even talking about the no org, because no org basically doesn't even have a team. But I'm gonna show you the some of the teams that I think could be interesting to think about in general. So again, third one is not really anything crazy here. I wouldn't say this is like anything interesting at all either way. If he maybe had the same thing that the Tatra has, when it's like drops below 50%, you can't kill the character on the once per game or something like that, that could be more interesting. That would be definitely more interesting. But with this, it feels like it's basically he's doing nothing again here. Reducing all allied characters' damage taken by 8% for 1 turn upon the power burst. And this is okay. Like the best thing that he has is his weak and his power burst, and that's already saying that this is really bad. So in terms of what he does, his debuffs are shit. His overall attack is extremely shit. His effects on 3 stars are also pretty much nothing and not really needed in anything. As well, like if you're gonna be using him in team with no orc and no like in no Anteku units, so you will not have any of those, then he's basically not giving you any basic stats increase as well, so that's another minus. He's not gonna give you anything. In terms of just purely using him in, like, let's say you want to use him in the Aogiri or like CCG, again, he's not gonna bring anything because he can just output Shinohara, who is even better, who is much more better. I would say, like, even not into comparison to this guy in terms of debuffs, he's gonna be much better. So this doesn't need to be there. Chief is gonna be better than like his whole kit overall as well. So Chief gonna be buffing more than this. So in terms of like use, I don't see like I don't see any use for this guy, unfortunately. He feels like he's very bland. He's very boring. Even like his animations, they didn't even try it with his animations. He's so like his animations look so boring. It's insane. And because of that, I think this is just like an will be from this time on. I think I'm gonna be calling these characters a filler characters. So if he's a filler character, you will know. I'm gonna tell you this is a filler character, so that means you don't need to go for this guy. He's extremely bad. I don't recommend going for him. I don't know, I didn't feel like any impact from him at all in any teams. But I'm gonna show you the teams that I did try with him. So one of those teams was the Anteku, so I switched. First I tried to switching up the Hina here, so Team Hinami for him, and tried to use him as the like main, let's say, support in the team who's going to be debuffing and also doing support. It didn't work well, didn't do anything for versus like real people. Obviously versus like bots it was okayish. But then it like he didn't really impact anything because this guy was just either way one-shotting. And with Hina he just does even more damage. So it wasn't having any importance. Then I switched him for the for the red Toka as well. Tried to use him maybe as not a full support, but just a debuffer in general. Again, didn't do anything, didn't see any impact from him. I was just doing less damage because I was like wasting one of my turns for using him over like using a decent damage dealer in face of red Toka, as well as if he would get the charm sometimes, that would also be a problem, because if he gets the charm, I am kind of fucked, because again she doesn't die and he does die pretty quickly, versus like a full-on teams. So again, no impact here. After that, I tried to do something different. I went for the for like a diverse Anteku. So I took Sen here. I've put the gut cell green all with 2 gut cells there. I've put obviously the our main character here into the team, and I've put the Psy the Carnival Psy shoe here as well. And obviously I was using the Rangy here just because he's a little bit more diverse. So I was using this kind of like a diverse no orc Anteku team. And again, no impact from him. For the most part, like Owl was doing his own thing. He was doing enough damage. This guy was doing enough damage on his own. He doesn't even need the debuffs. Like he didn't bring anything to the team overall, and either way this team, like when you're going with a shoe build, he is more of a like SCP type of Anteku build, where you want to go for the one-shots basically with him, so he gets a buff from Sen, and then he just instantly eliminates one of the enemies. All just there for the support for this shoe, and he didn't feel like needed to be even like having just a simple, I don't know, like literally any other unit would be better there. Like even maybe this shoe would be better than having that Uta there. Like he wasn't doing any impact, so I didn't see much of a play with him. But you can try maybe on a like if you have all of those units on triple S, maybe that's gonna be like he's gonna be seen as a better character. But for now, for me, it felt like he did nothing, especially in Anteku. Maybe even in no orc he could be more useful if you have a better no orc build than what I came out with. So you could try to use it in there and see how it's gonna go, and tell me in the comments for sure how did it went, if it had any impact or not. Other than that, hopefully you liked the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comments, as well as tell me just in general what you think about this guy. Again, I'm not really interested in him. I do like how he looks, but unfortunately they did nothing to him. They did the most boring character in the game. And as well, join the Discord if you don't want to miss any streams. I stream every day. I always post notifications beforehand for the streams in there. So if you don't want to miss, as well as if you have any questions, you can join in Discord. You can ask them there or in the comments below as well. I'll try to answer them if I obviously have the capacity to do that. Other than that, hopefully you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.